I can tell you that Jimmy's a member of the Millionaires Club. I can tell you that Jimmy's a 15-star diamond, and that he probably has over 20 diamonds. I can tell you all of those things, all of these amazing things he has done. Hundreds of coaches, this amazing team over here that he brought with him. All of these things I can tell you, but what I'm going to tell you right now, that he lost 100 pounds. All of those things I can tell you. What I'm going to tell you right now is, Jimmy is the example of what it is to be a Beachbody coach, both physically and in your business. So without further ado, let me bring to the stage Coach Jimmy Hayes Nelson. Stand up for Jimmy! Let's get loud for Jimmy! Invite Jimmy to the stage, show him what Philly's all about!
The year is 2009. Stop for a second. Think, where were you in 2009? Can you remember 2009? Well, thank you. So anytime you think of a date and you're like, wow, it seems like a long time ago. And in the same instant, you're like, that wasn't really that long ago. 2009. A lot's changed in 2009. Facebook groups, social media, the ways we communicate with each other. In 2009, there was a very young coach who didn't have any training, had no knowledge of business, but knew he was in love with what a community had done for him and what some products had done for him. And a group of people that believed in him more than he believed in himself early on. And had no clue how to build a business, change his life, or do anything with it. He had no track record of success. Because up to this point, all he knew was failure. Family, broken home. Nasty custody battle pulled between two families, never really feeling like he had a place to be safe, a place that was his own. Top that on top of being an obese child, moving around a few times, really never feeling like he had true friends, that he always had to be on, always had to perform, always had to entertain in order to get the love and acceptance that he really wanted. Had a dream of entertaining and touching people's lives, but hated the prison that he was in a body that was 100 pounds overweight. Became very angry and very much a victim. You know that thing it's not your fault, right? You know that thing that's not your fault. It's their fault because they had more money. It's their fault because they were in a better position. It's their fault because they had better looks. I mean, no wonder you haven't succeeded. Look at what they have that you don't. Once, twice, 3 times a college dropout, who found himself living back at home with his parents in his early 20s because his last college stop, his apartment that wasn't much bigger than this stage, literally had a TV here, not a bed, a mattress on the floor, and the last semester lived off a box of minute rice. Whose mom picked up the phone and said, hey, it's time to give this performing dream up. We need you to come home. We're worried about you. You've maxed out your last credit card. Come home. So he goes home. He's not going to perform. He's not a dreamer. He's surviving. I mean, he's literally just day in, day out, trudging through life. So there was a moment, one morning, stepping out of the shower, walking by the mirror, where he tried not to look at, he stops. And he hates the man that he sees looking back at him. He has no respect for him, he doesn't like him, and he doesn't want to hang out with him anymore. And in that moment of rock bottom desperation, one thought One second thought, you know that thought that you have that comes in your mind kind of has an impact, but then as soon as it's there, it's gone, right? It was there, had an impact, but if you didn't grab onto it, it's gone. That idea, that thought, that action, that motivation, or whatever you want to call it, it comes and it goes, it's fleeting. And in that small moment, the thought that whispered in and stayed for just a moment was, if you don't change, you're going to be alone the rest of your life. Nothing changed the next day for this guy. There wasn't some come to Jesus moment where everything changed and the heavens opened up. But he was opened in a mindset that when an opportunity came along later that was a potential solution, he at least was willing to listen. Because up to that point, with all this failure, skeptical, mad, bitter, a victim mentality, at least he was looking for something. This community saved my life. I shudder to think of where my life would be right now had I not had that moment, been open to the opportunity, and grabbed this thing by the throat when it came along, and hang on for dear white-knuckle life that I'm like, I got one plane off this island and this is it. Because I had no proof that anything else was going to work. My resume said failure. My resume said you're not worthy. My resume said you've never been successful in anything in your entire life. You've quit everything from pee-wee soccer to playing the saxophone to you name it growing up. As soon as it was uncomfortable, I wasn't motivated, and there was work involved, I quit. So in 2009, as a new coach, I didn't know what to do, but I knew I needed to take action. I was willing to work. So I grabbed 3 of my friends and had a crazy idea that was like, hey, here's an awesome idea. Let's get in a car in LA and drive from LA to New York City and stop in about 4 cities in 8 days and do a big beach party road trip. Isn't that a great idea? No. The fact that some of those people are still my friends today is a miracle. So I'm going to tell you about my big, awesome idea. That big, awesome business idea you've had, right? You're like, oh, this is the group I'm going to run. Or this is how I'm going to market my business. It's going to be brilliant. Well, I packed some people in a car. We started in LA, went to Arizona, and dropped down to Dallas, and went to Memphis, and up to New York City. Well, LA, there was like 2 people that showed up to our little fit club. Phoenix, no one. Like rented a big room. Oh, did I tell you that I was still way in debt and had no money, and my wife was not excited about the money that I was spending at the time? I was like, baby, this is what we're going to do. God bless that woman. Dallas, we had some coaches show, but the point was to build a business, right? We wanted to come to the fit club, and we're going to build this business, and we're going to go on this road trip. So we finally get to New York City, and we do. We have a great turnout because my homeboy Sean T goes, hey, I'll come do a workout. 60 people. Man, this is awesome. And then I wrap up, and I look back, and I'm like, wow, cool. How many coaches did we sponsor? Took a week of time, thousands of dollars, because hotels everywhere, and I was picking up, just max this credit card out. I don't know, I'm not going to pay it. No, I'm not the only one, right? So I look back on it, and we signed a whopping 1 coach. And a lot of debt. Another flippin' failure. That time you're like, this is it. This is what I'm going to do with my business. I'm going to go all in. And it doesn't work. And you go, man, this business isn't for me. I can't do this. My resume was right. That voice in my head telling me I was going to fail. That dude, that chick, they're smart because they were right. And I'm going to tell you, it's my biggest failure that sparked my success. It wasn't the same way now. We weren't Snapchatting our way across there. We were trying to use social media a little bit, but it wasn't the same. So many people didn't know what we were doing. And it was the sweat equity that we put in, the failures, the willing to show up. In New York City, after that, okay, what are we going to do? We'll have meetings. We'll try to fill a room. I'm going to rent a dance rehearsal space every Tuesday. And I'm going to pack up a bag from Queens and jump on a train with a projector with all the products, and I'm going to come into the city. I'm going to invite a bunch of people, and my best friend and my wife, we're going to set up the projector, and we're going to set everything up, and we have samples of everything. And oh my gosh, we're so excited. My wife and my best friend got really good at listening to my presentation, which I would do with nobody in the room. Why? Nobody showed you me. Bail. Give this business the finger and move on to the next thing that you're probably going to quit again. But I couldn't get that kid in the mirror out of my head. I was done running. I was done quitting. I was hitching my train to one thing, and come hell or high water, I'm sticking with this. Because it took me some time, but I saw what I was sitting on. Is this a social club? It can be. Is this a way to make a little extra money to go buy the dress or the shoes, or hey, I can go to happy hour with my buddies? It totally can be, if that's what you want it to be. This business can set people free. Change your life. Whatever's stressing you right now, when I say the word stress, something popped in your head. Your kids, your marriage, your debt, your job, the people that you're around all the time that you hate, other family members, an injury. I don't know what it is. But all I know is this is a solution for that. Because I stand here as proof that it is. But I don't think you get what you're sitting on. You don't take this seriously. You don't understand the power today you have. You could have signed up right before you walked in this room, and you are an earth mover and a people shaker and a life changer. Why? Because you just plugged into a system and a business and a power that can change people's lives in such a quick, fast, immediate way. 2008 wasn't that long ago, 2009. Think about that. So think about where you were around then and how blink of an eye that seems. You know what? There's going to be another blink of an eye pretty soon. And some of you right now are choosing to feel guilty about yourself because you're like, I've been a coach for 3 years. I've been a coach for 6 months. I haven't done anything. I've been a coach for a year. I haven't done anything. And right now in this moment, you're choosing to feel guilty and be a victim again. Stop. Your past does not determine your future. Look at yourself in the mirror, get pissed off at that person, and say, if I don't change, blank, fill in the blank, and change. And it's sexy and fun to talk about it here in a group of people. But you know what? Monday morning, all these people are going to be sitting next to you. They're not going to be holding your hands and cheering you on. The person that you just cried to your left, your right, sharing your story with, they may not be there. You have to make a decision now that you're in. I was sharing at dinner last night that a decision I made early on that wasn't a conscious decision, but it has served me so well in nearly a decade of doing this, which is crazy to even think it's a blink of an eye, guys. I was so thankful for this community. I saw so much value in the people that loved me more than I loved me early on. That ever leaving this community wasn't an option. And if you're leaving the back door open, just get out the back door. Because you're going to give yourself a reason to, so you might as well get out now. But the minute you nail up that back door, you white knuckle into this thing and you say, this is what's going to save my life, come hell or high water, and leaving or quitting is off the table, your life will change. And you know why it changes? It's not all of a sudden that that everybody you talk to says yes. It isn't that you get to the point in your business where this is just on cruise control, because I'm going to tell you, I used to think that too, and it doesn't happen. But the minute you take quitting off the table, it frees you up to just be. Try something, it fails. Have a talk, it goes away. You're a person that you just thought, this is the coach that's going to build my entire business for me. She gets bored and quits. It's not as hard to the solar plexus because you're like, okay, what's next? But I think we leave quitting somewhere in the back right there. And I never understood that, because I'm like, well, if the community's good for me and the products are improving my life, why would I leave? And so I didn't know we would build the business that we built. I didn't know financially I would bring my wife home from her job. I didn't know that we would literally that our time is our own. Would you wrap your head around that for a second? I have very loving talks with some of my team on this side about employees versus entrepreneurship and what that transition looks like. We've been brought up to believe there's safety in the cubicle. That's our version of security. The job, the insurance, the benefits. It's super easy to go, that's security. This crazy ass life you're talking about, that's scary as hell. That's the difference. But I've seen my friends with the secure job, it disappear like that. I've also seen my friends with the secure job puts so much stress on them that their marriage sucks, that their quality of life sucks. And so if I'm secure and unhappy here, and there is an option because you are sitting in a room of people that are proof that this works, why wouldn't you take this more seriously? What do I mean by that? What do I mean by seriously? I was reminded of a video I have on YouTube that lovingly is called How to Get a Diamond in a Week. And it's because after one summit, I was at a summit that sometimes things just open up in the clearing for you. Like you've heard it and you've heard it and you've heard the same story, but all of a sudden it seems obtainable. It's like if I told you, hey, just go pick up a water on the back table and you'll never be thirsty again, and you look back and you're like, oh, the water's just right there? Okay, cool. And you go get the water. But before then, if I talked about the water, but you really couldn't see the water, and the water was just an idea. There was something about coming to this summit, and I knew that I wanted to get my wife home from her job, and I knew our financial situation, and I knew getting her to Diamond would get us a lot further there. And I don't know, it's just, you have one of those aha moments, you're like, okay, I'm here in life, where I want to be is right there. Well, I'm going there. Like, I'm just going to move, I'm just going to go there. So that week home, I was like, great. That's 12 people that need to join my team in some way, shape, or form, right? To get to Diamond. And instead of it seeming overwhelming to me, it was, cool, how many people do I need to have conversations with to 12 say yes? Well, it could be 12, but probably not. Right? The coach is like, oh, I didn't make it to Success Club 5. How many people did you talk to? 3. Well, no shit. You know? Why didn't you talk to more people? Well, I don't know. Do you find value in being a coach? You said yes, so obviously somewhere along the way you're like, wow, there is value in this. So why are you ashamed to share something of value with another human being in need? Right? And great, the first one may say no. The next one, not right now. It's too expensive. I don't have time. That's a scam. Whatever, cool. Next. I am only looking for people that are looking for me. Because there are people that don't know. Seriously, guys. And it's so easy on your Facebook newsfeed because all your friends are flipping coaches, which I'm going to encourage you not to just be friends with 1,000 coaches. Because perception is reality, right? Well, my newsfeed is full of Beachbody coaches. I guess everybody already has coach. While you're sitting on a social network with billions of people, but you've just decided to stay in your own little playroom, so you think everybody is already in drinking the blue Kool-Aid. There's a single mom right now barely making ends meet to pay rent and feed her children that would die for an opportunity like this that doesn't even know it exists because you are too self-conscious to share it with her. And every time you don't share, that is the most selfish thing you can do. When you signed up, you wrote that off. You gave that up. When you said, yes, I will be a business owner, which you are, you're just not acting like it. You signed up to say, yes, my mission is to serve other people and change their lives, yet you're too self-conscious to literally just tell people what it is you do. You try to hide it. You try to package it in something else. You try to talk around it. Somebody asked me the other day, what do you do? I build businesses. I help people start online fitness businesses part-time. They like a little extra money and to get healthier. You're going to find your version of what that is. And you got to find your version. It's really easy to look at things in that Facebook news feed on Instagram and think there is one way to build this business. Right? And we think, and then we try that system, and if it doesn't work, we think we suck as a coach. But look at it this way, and I've had enough conversations with Carl, he'd tell you the exact same thing if he was here. You're not an employee of Beachbody. You are your brand. You are the business owner. This amazing company has given us world-class products to help solve a problem. Perfect example, I have a new coach. She's super passionate about helping battered women. Had used insanity in the past. I'm like, you should join my team. And I do tell, that's my recruiting speech. Because if you don't believe it, they ain't gonna believe it. And she's like, yeah, Jimmy, but I don't know about that. Like, you know, I like the products and everything, and I really, honestly, I lost my weight, and I really didn't drink Shakeology, so I feel really weird about telling other people they need to. But what I really want to do is I want to help battered women. I'm like, great, let's talk about that. How are you going to help them? Well, you know, we talk a whole lot about like the issues that they're going through, and I'm really there to encourage them and to support them. I'm like, okay, well, so let's go back to your situation. I said, you're passionate about this because this is your past. And I said, what helped you in the midst of all of it? Well, I felt like my life was out of control. And the one thing I could control, where I couldn't control him and I couldn't control how it was affecting our family, I could control how hard I pushed every day when I pushed play. For those 30 to 45 minutes, I was in control of my life. It was up to me how high I jumped, how hard I pushed, when I dug deeper, and for those 45 minutes every day, I was in control of my life. I said, that's awesome. Do you think some other woman could use that same message? It's not about being Beachbody Coach so-and-so on your screen name and stuff. It's, hi, my name is, my business is helping battered women gain control of their life again. Would you like to be a part of that? Here is my cause. Oh my gosh, yes, cool. Let me show you the tools we use to allow you to take back control of your life. Because for some people, hey, I'm just running a challenge group works. I'm going to tell you, I'm not one of those. I may get in trouble for saying that, but I am a business builder. I build leaders. I show them how to use these products as a tool to do that. And I just say that to you, not to say don't run challenge groups, because I know women, primarily women, that have built amazing businesses, challenge group model, over and over and over again. There's nothing wrong with it. It absolutely rocks. But I just want to give you permission to do this business your way. And maybe it's a way nobody has ever thought of before. In fact, let's use the challenge groups as an example real quick. When I came into this business, number one, no challenge packs, no Shakeology. Wrap your brain around keeping people active on that. However, there was a team that came in and saw what kind of the corporate training was, like what everybody else was doing. And they're like, yeah, that works for some people, but it doesn't fit our culture. Well, our culture is a little more communal and a little more like 5-day clean eating groups and stuff and this and that. And Platinum Presenters was born and exploded because they weren't looking for corporate to give them permission to do it a different way. They go, no, we know our culture, we know our people, we're going to execute this way. So much so that corporate very smartly goes, what are those girls doing? That's blowing up. And they go and ask, and guess what? The entire corporate training structure shifted. And those trainings are great, but there's something, I really want to believe, there's something in your gut that's like, gosh, I wish we could run it this way. I know my boys, they would really like this business if it was more this. Then do that. And give it time. Test everything. And by test, I do not mean make one post and cry because it got 2 likes. So many guilty laughs. Oh my gosh. You gotta test it. That means, hey, for the next 3 months, I'm doing this. I'm gonna build that YouTube channel. I'm gonna go build on Snapchat. I don't know. I'm gonna run, God forbid, I'm gonna run stuff that we just talk about money. We do run a business, you can talk about that. Just put your disclaimer on everything and, legal will be happy. But what I'm saying is, you have permission. You are a business owner. You are an entrepreneur to do this, so use these tools and do it your way. Stop waiting for permission to do it a different way. Quit waiting for somebody to come tell you, oh, you know what? It's your turn for the stage. Come take it. Because I wasted years being super bitter. I signed up as a coach 6 months after we launched. No training. I tell my sponsor coach on a regular basis that she saved my life by offering me this opportunity and then lovingly, mistakenly sticking me in a dead spot. 6 months in. So you think, oh, 6 months, man. Jimmy's got volume for years underneath him. No, sadly, no. So the next time you want to blame your upline or that you're in a dead spot or that you're whatever, I'm going to say, so? Your sponsor's job is not to build your business for you. That is the magic of this business. It can happen. It can be a teamwork thing, but that's not their job, so get over it. And I know somebody in right here has not done what they have not touched the lives they could potentially touch because you're too busy blaming somebody else on why you're not successful. The only person responsible for your success in your business is you. So you have to keep moving forward. You have to keep testing things. But before any of that, you've got to understand what you're sitting on. You've got to understand the potential of this. I've seen people change their lives drastically in 48 months in this business, and I wasn't one of those. I'm not the sprinter. I am the slow and steady wins this race. It took me, there were a lot of really nice things on my resume that were said before I jumped up here. And I will tell you almost all of them, if you took anybody else that's hit any of those milestones, I took the longest. Does that make me a failure? No. You put so much pressure on yourself that if I'm not X by X date, I must suck at this. You got time. As long as you're taking action. Because if you give yourself time, and all you're doing is watching 8 YouTube videos a day, and not doing anything with it, that's not working your business. If I say, hey man, how'd you work your business today? Cool, I watched a video today, and I jumped on a team call, and I looked over some notes. All right, so there's two kinds of, there's learned knowledge, and there's applied knowledge. A couple years ago, some buddies of mine, coaches you may know, like Josh Spencer and Dave Ward, and a bunch of other guys, they go snowboarding every year, Mike Ryan. And we used to, when I launched my coaching business, I'm from Texas, but launched my coaching business in New York City. And after 4 years, I was like, I really hate cold weather. I'm moving back to Texas. And I told my wife, I was like, I want to go on this snowboard trip. She's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. She's like, you don't like the cold, you hate snow, and you've never been on a snowboard in your entire life. Why do you want to go? Well, because the guys are going. So on the way there, I was a little intimidated because all these guys, like they've been skiing and snowboarding since they were little. But I could sit before that trip and watch the X Games on YouTube for hours, seeing the best of the best do their thing. But do you think I learned more from watching a video or for busting my ass 12 times in the first 5 minutes on the snow? Learn knowledge, applied knowledge. Every once in a while I'll do trainings on Saturday mornings, 3 hours of my time to try to get back to you guys. And I always say at the end of those things, the person that will mess this up, go fail the first, is gonna win. Because what I hear from you guys is, man, Jimmy, that was really motivating. And I love you. But if next week you reach out to me on Facebook or my YouTube channel and tell me how motivating I am, and I go, cool, what did you do this week? And you don't have an answer, you wasted my time and yours. Motivation's overrated, guys. Motivation is this magical thing. I even made a video series. You can go to 5daysofire.com and get my 5 free videos to be motivated. But I'm going to tell you, it doesn't mean anything if you're not going to do anything with it. It's back to the kid in the mirror. In that thought that if you don't change, you're going to be alone the rest of your life. There was a glimpse, there was a little spark of motivation. But if I didn't light it with action, the fire doesn't happen, right? If it's just a spark that doesn't catch anything and move. So the next time you feel really motivated, maybe it's today, maybe it's sometime this week, you've got to put immediate action behind it. Because feelings are fleeting. And you got to get to where it's a habit and you're showing up every day whether you feel like it or not because you see the potential you're sitting on. I thank you for your time. I honor you that you guys all showed up here. And I've never done this at a keynote before, but if I don't know where we are on time. Can I Q&A with you guys for a second? We all not be shy? Okay, oh look, Mike and Andy are ready. All right, let's go. I've never done this. I usually tie it up in a big rah-rah speech and I sprint off to the back. That means, Philip, that we're going to have to edit this much better at the end of that because there wasn't But I want to talk to you because I feel like you're with me. Like sometimes you talk to audiences and they're just like, but I feel like I see people leaning forward. So I want to fill in. I don't want to leave this room with, there's one there. Wait. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, I'm Heather.
Let's go. Oh, hey, she's on my team. Hi, Heather.
Hi, Jimmy.
What's up?
I was wondering, mine is the vital behaviors because we know that's the first thing we're supposed to do.
Right.
What do you give your coaches as the first thing they should do to get started on the right path? What is their first line of attack?
Great question. You've got to start sharing your story now. I will tell you, all of you are sitting on $1 million story right now and you're not because you're waiting for your after photo. You're waiting till you get to Emerald, you're waiting till you make 20 more bucks, you're waiting for something else. And if you would start sharing your story right now. Hi, my name is Billy. I just signed up to be a Beachbody coach. I have 60 pounds to lose. I'm not making any money, but I know where I'm going. Who wants to come along? People want to be part of building something. Stop trying to wait till it's built to advertise it. Do you feel me? Do you get that? Because if that girl that's next to you in the office watches you and your first 5 days, and you got a post that like, man, I'm new at this. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but the first 7 days of drinking Shakeology, I dropped 8 pounds and kicked my Diet Coke habit. The girl next to you in the office goes, psst, she can do that, I can do that. But you're like, I can't do that. I'm gonna wait till I lose 100 pounds and then I'm gonna share my, get out of your cave. Bring people along with you. People wanna be a part of building something. Create some enthusiasm because you're excited about it, so somebody else would love to come along with you. You gotta start sharing the story immediately. While you're in, like, I'm doing this program because of this. I had this objective, I'm starting this thing. My buddy Chris Reed says it's so perfect. The day he signed up as a coach, he came back to his house and he told his wife, I'm pretty sure this is a scam, but I signed up anyway. And that's part of his testimony. And he signed so many coaches because of it, because every other prospect that goes, oh, he thought that too. Oh, what, you know, so, great question. Next.
So, my biggest thing is...
Oh, wait, so everybody can hear you.
Oh, sorry. My biggest fear is offending someone.
Oh, no.
So,
Really?
I know what's on the other side of fear.
My team's all smiling right now because they're like, oh no, here he goes.
And I typically don't mind being offended, but when I dig into my story, I was 197 pounds when I first started. And if somebody had came up to me like, girl, I got this great opportunity to help you drop that weight, I'd be like, who said I wanted to lose weight? But now that I'm here, I'm so happy and so excited. So my biggest thing is, how do I walk up to a person and go, I have the solution that can change your life without offending?
You know what? I'm glad you asked that question. I used to work as a bank as a teller, and I hated that job because I just felt like a fat guy in like a sausage with a tie and like just not comfortable in my own skin. And I had somebody with another company literally say that to me. He came up in line, and it wasn't received very well. I'll be super honest with you. So I don't know that I go about it that way. The way I go about it is I share me and my excitement, and then the other thing I tell coaches, so I'm going to tie these two questions together. The other thing I tell coaches to do, that they go, and then they don't do it, is I take them through a memory jogger list. And we go through the whole thing, and I say, at the very top, I'm like, note, these are not the people that are going to be a part of your team. Please don't prejudge this list. Then I said, so we go through the list, and I always ask my groups, how many people? And there's always like 200, 100, and there's always like a guy that's like 15, and I'm like, lie. But what I do with those people is I just reach out and say, hey, I started a new company. I'm really excited about this because it's improved my life and stuff. I just wanted to let you know, because if there's anybody you know looking to improve their health and fitness or could use a little extra income, just send them my way. Now that person may go, who, me? But they may not. So you're not pushing them. You're just excited about what you're doing, right? And you're not offending. You're not going, sweetheart, you're chunky. You know, you're just saying, you're like, I feel better about me. If somebody wants to feel better, now, if a chunky friend wants to come along, come on. And if she doesn't, she's gonna watch. The people that are, we were talking this morning, the vocal minority will derail you while there is an army of silent watchers waiting to see if you're gonna stick with this. And that next post or share or phone call or text message may be the thing that they said, okay, I've been watching you for 6 months. And they'll never click like. They will never comment. It will be in the silence. It's like a bad drug deal. It's like, psst, come here. So. So does that help? Okay, awesome. Great question. Anybody else?
Over here. We have Megan over here.
Oh, yes.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hi. Did you take notes?
Of course I took notes.
Smart people take notes. Good, okay.
My question is, how do you deal with objections and move forward?
Yeah, that's right. Because none of us like being told no. And so many people think that whoever your favorite coach is, you know, we just think, oh, nobody tells her no anymore. Nobody tells him no anymore. And when I learned before, I remember my buddy Tommy, my group, was super nice and brought me on the first top 10 trip Carl took a group with. And these are my idols. They were kind of my peers because I'd been around, but they were doing in the business what I wanted to do. And we would go to dinner and we would talk. And what I realized really quickly, the best part of that trip for me was not learning the secret or this is what you say that nobody ever says no. It was listening to them all complain about how their new coaches don't do anything. And these people say no to them. And I was like, you guys suck just like me. The difference is that they were willing to hear no more often than I was. They got their ego out of the way. Still, one of the best objection handlers I've ever heard in my entire life was a little something like this. Hey, yeah, I can't afford that. Well, I don't know about that. All I know is I was $60,000 in debt with 3 maxed out credit cards, and I knew if I wanted to do something different, I needed to find a way to make it work. And if you're not completely satisfied in 30 days, you can get your money back. Yeah, but I don't have time. Yeah, all I know is Wayne Wyatt has like 5 kids and is an orthodontist, and he made $1 million in this business in 2 years and is a top coach for 2 years. Are you that busy? Seriously, guys, and this is what you need to do before you leave here. Meet some people you don't know and swap stories. I have about 5 to 6 good stories I keep in my back pocket exactly for that. I have one from my buddy Dave Ward, who is a lawyer. I'm successful, I already make enough money, but I don't see my kids. I got a story for them. Right? Seriously, right? Because think about this. Somebody in here is not talking to their successful friend because they think, my friend already makes too much money, why would they want this little thing I'm doing? But that friend is working 14 hours a day and never sees their kids. Now they may be banking, but they have created themselves a nice set of golden handcuffs, and their quality of life sucks. Quit prejudging people. You don't know people's behind the scenes. And you may be selfish in changing someone's life. Does that help? Cool. Awesome. Yeah.
Can I ask the question?
Sure. You got the mic, you're like, Trump, everybody.
So I think a lot of coaches advance to diamond or even emerald really quickly, and then they kind of hit a wall and they get super frustrated.
One of my favorite topics. Yeah, keep going.
What do you say to them on your team?
What do I say, team? Do we stop? Thank you. Biggest mistake, getting to diamond, getting to emerald, whatever. Let's say just getting to emerald. Okay, I got my 2 people. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna be like the helicopter parent of my 2 people. Are you doing your thing? Are you doing your thing? Are you gonna do your thing? Are you gonna do your thing? And oh my God, you're gonna be inactive and I'm gonna draw from emerald next week? Dude, they don't care. No, because you're smooth, you're really slick. You're like, this isn't really about me. I'm just checking to make sure you knew that you were going to be inactive. And I mean, it might affect me, but I'm just make sure that you're on your thing. No. Same thing with diamond. Okay, there's 12 individuals, like you're 8 sponsored, they're 2. And again, they think they're the CEO of like this huge organization. It's 12 human beings. And know this, and I shared this morning. Your first 12 people does not mean those are the pillars, the leaders, the long-term people in your business. They're just the first 12 people that said yes. And if you were banking on those 12 people to build this thing for you, you are sorely, sadly mistaken. I still recruit 9 years later, every month, because people will quit. I've had diamond coaches in my organization quit. I've had star diamond coaches in my organization quit. I am always recruiting to replace because sadly, the minute we want it more for our team than they do, bad math, and I gotta work with the people that wanna work. Right? So if somebody just went diamond, and I'm like, great. And in fact, we no longer have a diamond group in our team. We do it in tiers, and in order to get what most people consider the diamond tier, I don't let them in there and get more of my time until they have 12 PS coaches and 4 emeralds. Because I want them solid, right? I want them solid. And so, guys, whatever you did to get to any rank, get to any income status, to get to anything, keep doing that. Because the minute you go into management mode and stop bringing people in, it will start to crumble because people will just leave. I mean, it just happens. And when people quit, it's not a reflection of you being a bad leader. So quit taking blame for it. A big shift in my business was if somebody would quit, because I've had people that have quit and cussed me on the way out, telling them why it's my fault. Why they didn't get support, why I didn't do this, why I didn't answer every phone call, why, whatever, it's my fault. And it just killed me because these are people that I just gave my heart and soul to. And I had to make a shift. And I had to say, okay, here's the deal. If I can't take credit for their success, I no longer can be blamed for their lack of it. My job is to present an opportunity, introduce them to a business, point them at the tools that I used to build this, and that really is it. Now, many of us do so much more from our teams because we love them to death. But you are responsible to people, not for them. Thanks. Seriously. So, go ahead, man.
Hey Jimmy, I have two questions. One is for everybody in here. My first question is, how many male Beachbody coaches are in here?
Oh, I like where he's going with this.
That's awesome.
Look at the dudes.
That's awesome. There's a lot of dudes in here. All right, sweet. All right. Look at that. I'm so proud of that. So my second thing is, me personally, all of my clients and all of my personally sponsored coaches are all women.
Yep.
Do you have any advice for the guys in here, as far as, you know, what you've done to really grow your business? And because I know for guys it can be sometimes intimidating to see all these, you know, their lines and all these other really successful women, and they're like, well, I don't really feel like I connect with that. I'm trying to grow my business and I'm trying to tell my story. And I just really want the guys in here to know that it's super easy to get women on board with you if they connect with you. You know, so that goes back to tying in with your sharing your own story and selling yourself. Do you have any advice for, you know, some of the guys in here that get intimidated easily?
Absolutely. I think I'm kind of the unicorn in the network, because my team, the last time I did an audit of my entire organization, it's half men and half women. And we were talking at dinner the other night, and I'm gonna come back around to what I would say just to the guys, but I want to add this in. I went to a branding and marketing seminar a couple weeks ago, because I am always investing in me. I am always learning and investing in things in and outside of corporate to get better. It just doesn't happen on accident. You have to continue to grow and let people push you. So I'm always going to events and seminars and things like that. And they did this thing where we were trying to identify our ideal client. Because they were saying that when you post on social media or you're writing blog posts or videos, you should have this one individual in mind. And like, you'll attract other people outside of it, but you want to know what it is. And when I was really struggling with this, because I was like, wow, my instinct's like, oh, my ideal client's a dude. But the people I like working with the best are super hard-nosed girl bosses that really respond to my tough love. So I was like, well, for me, I attract a mentality more than I do a gender, right? So those of you that have watched my videos, you either love me or you think I'm an ass real quick. And for the longest time, I had a mentor that used to say, Jimmy, if this is the line of upsetting somebody, making people mad, he said, you are leading from way over here. Because Fat Jimmy, who still lived here for a really long time, wanted to be a part of the cool kids club and just wanted everybody to like him. So I was just the biggest cheerleader, rah rah. It was one night after a team call where I was just like, hey, come on, we can do it. And then shut that off and sat on the couch. And my poor wife just heard me just light into what I was frustrated about. And she's like, why don't they hear you? Why didn't your team hear this? And I was like, oh, I can never tell them that. I can never tell them that they're a bunch of lazy ass. Sorry, there's kids in the room, sorry. Like, just do the work. You know, quit giving me excuses. And she challenged me. She's like, if you're gonna build this, be you. And my business changed because I found the type of people that totally respond. Did I lose some? Absolutely. But the ones that stepped up when I was just me, and I think a lot of you are probably a version of yourself on social media or a version of yourself with your team calls. So for guys, number one, it's a business, right? Like, I think guys, by nature, most of us, super entrepreneurial in some way. I also look at it, and I used to delay treating any of my coaches like employees, because I'm like, well, they're not employees. But people have been hardwired to act like employees until they're taught to be entrepreneurs, in my opinion. And so I gave them metrics, like they would have sales quotas. Here's the things you need to do. So treat it like something that is familiar to what they're already doing in their career. Is the biggest thing I would say to another guy. Challenge them, let them know, hey, competition usually works pretty well. Hey, so-and-so hit this in this time frame. You don't have to do that. I know it's kind of tough, you know. And it's always good to see in their eyes. It works with some of the girls too, because they're like, I'll do it then. We just take off. Okay. How many guys are here again? Raise your hand. Keep your hands up if you're coming to my men's event in May. All right, okay. I'll make a deal with this room. Those ticket sales are closed, but I will put in your group a private link if the other dudes want to come join these other guys. And I'll order those tickets. It's me, Dave Ward, 13 other six-figure earning guys, and Gary Vaynerchuk in Dallas, Texas. So we'll do that as well. So, absolutely. Anybody else? Do we still have time? I don't even know what time it is.
We got one more question. One more question over here.
Question. Hey, has this been helpful? Yeah. Okay. I'll just talk all day long, and I just like to hear me speak. I just want to know that there's impactful here. Okay, wait. I know we have one more question. Let's go with the question, then I'll tie it at the end. Who? I don't know. Who has the mic?
Over here with Sam.
Yes.
Hi. First of all, thank you for coming and sharing so much of your knowledge and tips and everything with us. You know, it's really appreciated. I'm sure, definitely. So. How do you deal with objections concerning price? People who have seen your success online and everything, but they're still really reluctant to join with you because, oh, well, it costs too much, or Shakeology costs too much. How do you deal with that?
It's a bit of what I said earlier, that I don't know. All I know is that I'm going to share a story, because did you have to find the money? Yes.
I had to save up for it.
Thank you. So you share that story. I also share, one of my favorite things is like, there's a little stat that I came across, and I don't know how these people, like, it could be a made-up stat, but I like the story anyway, that says the average person has between $1,000 and $2,000 worth of crap in their house that they don't use. You know, oh, I saved a playbill, or I have a Star Wars collection, or I have these shoes that were from 3 years ago, or I have an old iPhone I didn't use, or whatever. So on one hand, I'm like, well, cool. Jump on eBay, sell. Is it worth you giving up, you know, your iPhone from 3 generations ago to change your life? And then the other thing I say is specifically on the business side, on the financial side. Let's think about this just for a second. What other business do you know that you can earn 6, 7 figures? And that seems, I know, and I try not to go into big numbers because sometimes people's brains just shut off when it gets big. So let's go this way. When else can you start a business that can put your kids in private school? Or when else can you start a business that takes that bill off the table that keeps you and your husband from fighting for under $200? And when you think about it like that, there's no business loan, you don't have a board of trustees, you get a 30-day money-back guarantee if you don't do anything with it. And I'm gonna wrap with this. If you've sat here and you feel really motivated, oh, I wish, but you're like, I don't know, Jimmy, I still don't know if I can do this. I got so much doubt. It seems so big. You don't know where I've been. You don't know my story. It's just too hard. I'm going to tell you this. Yes, it's hard. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I took too much time in my career trying to tell people, oh no, this isn't hard. Oh, it's easy, blah, blah, blah. And then I wonder why I had a really lazy organization, because that's what I sold them. But if you're just like, I don't know if it's worth it, that's what I hear all the time. Is it worth it? Are the programs worth it? Is the business worth it? Is Shakeology worth it? For those of you who have kids, think of your kid right now. Or your loved one, or that family member that's struggling. And if your answer is, it's too tough, I want you to go to that family member and look them in the eye and say, I was sitting on something that could change your life, where you would never have to worry about your finances again, but it was too hard and you weren't worth the effort. I can't do that to mine. 9 years in, I'm showing up every day. Good days, bad days. Keep rolling. Thank you, Philly. You guys do well.
Give it up for Coach Jimmy! One more time for Coach Jimmy, please.